Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever stared at your kitchen faucet and thought, what exactly is in this glass of water, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're demystifying home water safety for Illinois homeowners. We're going to take it from this anxiety-inducing unknown and turn it into an empowering, super practical guide. So it really boils down to one simple question. Do you actually know what's flowing from your tap? It helps to think of a home water test kind of like the check engine light for your plumbing. It's not there to just flash red and make you panic. It's a diagnostic tool that tells you exactly where to look so you can fix a tiny issue before it turns into a massive household crisis.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover what tests reveal, municipal versus private well systems, when to test, choosing the right test, and finally, acting on your results. Let's dive right in.
Starting with Section 1, what tests reveal beyond pass or fail?
You know, the biggest myth out there is that a water test is just a generic pass or fail kind of deal. It's sort of like walking into a doctor's office and just asking for a health test. It doesn't work like that. In reality, a quality test drops your results into three very specific, highly useful buckets. First up, contaminant concentration. That's identifying specific substances down to parts per million or even billion. Second, source clues. For example, if your very first morning glass of water flags high for lead, that is a massive clue that your actual household plumbing is the culprit. And third, we have water chemistry.
Now that third bucket, chemistry, is absolutely crucial. Honestly, it might be the most important one. Because even if your test comes back completely clear of any dangerous heavy metals or microbes, your water's pH and hardness fundamentally dictate how metals in your pipes behave. They even determine whether that expensive new water filter you just bought will actually do its job. It's kind of the silent driver behind literally all of your treatment decisions.
Moving on to Section 2, municipal versus private well, the great divide.
So where your water actually comes from totally dictates your responsibility as a homeowner. Are you on a municipal supply? Well, then your local utility handles the routine monitoring. Your only real job is keeping an eye out for symptoms right at the tap. You know, weird colors, strange smells. But if you're on a private well, you are the utility company. Things like changing groundwater, nearby farming shifts, and seasonal weather patterns mean periodic testing is 100% on you. Let's jump to Section 3, when to test, spotting the warning signs.
Look, timing is everything here. You definitely don't want to just blindly throw money at lab fees. You should test specifically when you have actionable triggers. For instance, right after plumbing repairs, or installing a new water heater that might have rattled your pipes, or when your senses are giving you warning signs like a metallic taste or that awful rotten egg smell. And of course, if local authorities announce water main work or treatment changes in your neighborhood, that's a prime time to test.
Now, if you're an Illinois homeowner relying on a private well, you've got your own unique triggers to watch out for. Is there new construction up the street? Things like earth movement, agricultural changes, or industrial shifts can easily push contaminants right into your groundwater system. And honestly, if you live in an area with known issues and you simply haven't done a baseline safety test recently, the absolute best time to do one is right now.
And hey, regardless of where your water comes from, you've got to be aware of older homes. A lot of times the danger isn't actually the city water, it's those 50-year-old pipes inside your walls breaking down and leaching contaminants straight into your drinking glass. That specific danger requires a highly targeted test to catch the metals that are literally falling off the inside of your own plumbing.
All right, Section 4, choosing the right test, avoid common mistakes.
Please, whatever you do, don't just grab a random test kit off a hardware store shelf. You really need to interview the lab first. Treat it like a proactive checklist. You want to ask them, what are your exact detection limits? Are there special sampling instructions I need to follow? Is this test catching a one-time snapshot or a recurring issue? And most importantly, will the final report actually map to clear health guidelines so I can, actually understand what I'm looking at?
I do want to give you a crucial warning about testing for intermittent issues. If a lab tells you to test the first draw water right in the morning, and you let the tap run for 2 minutes while you're making coffee beforehand, well, you just ruined the test. Improper sampling gives you this false sense of security, which is super dangerous because it can trick you into drinking contaminated water just because you didn't follow the specific collection instructions.
And finally, Section 5, acting on your results, solutions, and fixes. I absolutely love this quote from our source material, so I want to highlight it for you. Consider it a prompt to act, not a reason to panic. Seriously, when that lab report finally hits your inbox, and maybe it's covered in scary red numbers or elevated contaminant levels, just take a deep breath. It is just a mechanical, solvable plumbing problem. No need to despair. Actually fixing the problem usually splits down to two distinct paths. First up, treatment. This is dealing with the water itself, like installing certified filtration systems or actively remediating the well water. The second path is plumbing. This is for when the water coming in is totally fine, but your hardware is toxic. That means rolling up your sleeves and replacing old, leaching fixtures or actively fighting pipe corrosion going on inside your walls.
The good news is you don't have to play guessing games with your health, and you definitely shouldn't try to navigate those solution paths all by yourself. Pair your lab results with real professional context. Take that report and hand it over to public health resources, local experts, or qualified plumbers. Let them translate all those confusing chemical findings into a targeted, super effective action plan.
So, I want you to take a hard look at your own home today. Have you done any recent renovations? Are your pipes older than you are? Are you sitting on a completely untested private well? If you don't know exactly what's hiding in your home's baseline, it is definitely time to find out. Because armed with the right test and the exact right timing, you can absolutely guarantee the safety of every single drop your family drinks. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer today.